So after our installation of VMware Workstation, we have two tools that we get. We have VMware Workstation, which is the full suite of all the components for the VM, but we also have VMware Workstation Player, which is a simplified player for just generating and creating one VM at a time. So we're going to use this tool to create one virtual machine, and our first virtual machine is going to be a Windows 2012 server. So we're going to create a new virtual machine. It's going to ask us where we want to install the operating system from, and I've pre-selected a location where I have an ISO file. The ISO files were the files we downloaded in the earlier section of the course, and these files are actually the contents of a full CD or DVD. So it's going to read from that ISO file to generate our Windows 2012 server, and it detected that this server wants a license key and some other options, and we're going to leave the defaults. We're not going to bother with the license key because, again, we're just using demo copies of the software. It's going to, are you sure you want to do the key? That's okay. It's going to ask us for a name for the computer. So this virtual machine is actually going to get a name like you would name a normal computer. So we'll call it WinSRV1. And then it's going to ask us approximately how much disk storage we're going to use. Now, as we said in the text, the storage that the VM uses is actually marked as the size of a full hard drive. So in this case it's going to be 60 gigs, but it's only going to use the space that's actually required. So out of that 60 gigs of storage, it may only occupy 10 gigs of files on your hard drive, and it's called thin provisioning. And we're going to accept the defaults, and we're going to power on the machine once we've started it, and the VMware Workstation is going to open that ISO file, and it's going to ask us if it wants to use some of the other USB devices on our computer, which we're going to skip. And it's reading the ISO file as if I was putting a DVD into a new piece of hardware to build a server. But this virtual machine is all running as a file on top of my laptop, and it's going to go through the normal install for a Windows 2012 server. And we'll pause the recording at a few points just so we don't have to watch the screens. And there we go. In just about 10 minutes, we have installed Windows 2012 Server on a VM, running as a VM on top of the laptop that I'm recording on. This VM can be edited, and can be modified, and treated just like a regular server, and we'll use these with our demo buildup of an AD environment in later parts of the course. VMware installs a set of tools to allow you to control the hardware a little better, and it'll automatically run through about 4 reboots before the system is complete. These tools help us better manage the files, memory, and CPU on these virtual systems, and in the next lesson we'll show us how to adjust the memory and CPU on the fly. And we're done. So, as I said, it takes about 10 minutes on a pretty good laptop with solid-state hard drives. Your time may be slower depending on the type of drives that you have. I've compressed the time in the video so you don't have to watch the install screens go through the 8 minutes and 9 minutes of installation and file configuration. But all in all, about 10-15 minutes to install a single server through VMware Player.